Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome along to the Royal Link Up podcast. This is episode 15. I am your host, the amazing Sniper Beef. I'm joined alongside my co-host.
Hello, guys. Devastate here, and you can see business has been resumed. We are back to normal. Beefy has returned from holiday. The capable hands are back, and he saw what an appalling job I did last week, the mockery I made of the podcast. So he's come
I've
back
got a
to
little
take
bit of a
over
tan.
control.
I've got a little bit of a tan, a watch
Um,
tan, tiny little tan.
That's good for you, though.
Yeah. I don't do tanning. I don't do
No,
tanning. I'd rather come back whiter than I went and get sunburn.
for someone that wears a vest top like yourself, you are very much not the sort of person that wears that goes out in the sun to show off.
No, no. I would rather sit under an umbrella in a t-shirt and a hat and just enjoy the weather and not sunburn or suntan, shall we say? Because we were on the beach on holiday, and the amount of people who were just sleeping in the sun all day, like on like 6, 7 hours in the sun. I'm like, first of all, it's boring AF. I mean, I couldn't think of anything more. Like they didn't have headphones in; they were just lying on the beach doing nothing. Whereas I was there, I had a t-shirt. Well, actually, no, I had a rash vest on because I was going in and out of the sea with the kids and stuff. But
A what?
mine
A
and
what?
a rash vest. So rash vest is something that you wear when you go surfing or bodyboarding.
Okay.
So basically, where you lie on a board, you sometimes get like a rash on your chest, and the rash vest stops that basically. But I was wearing the rash vest because I was going in and out of the sea and stuff, and also it stops me from getting sunburn. But I made it my goal just to dig a really big hole, just a really big hole on the beach. So we got it to about 5 foot deep, so you couldn't see some of the kids when they were stood in it. Um, and then we were hoping it was going to be there the following day, but someone had a barbecue nearby and filled it in, which was very sad. Very sad.
You did a what was that? The scene from Friends.
Yeah.
You tell how old we are by the fact that we watch Friends, but like it was
Yeah.
like what Joe and Chandler do when they went to the beach. We dug a big hole.
Yeah. It's all I do when I go to the beach. And yeah, that's literally all I do. Anyway, for those of you who don't know what the link up is and this is the podcast. So this is the link up podcast. The link up is a group of friends. So myself, Devastate, and there's about 15 to 20 of us. We every year for the last 26 years. This year was the 26th year. We take our PCs, our desks, and our chairs along to one of our houses. We connect them up via a LAN, and we play PC games and eat pizza and takeaway for an entire week. And we do it every year, and it's honestly one of the best weeks of the year for all of us. We've been doing it since our late teens, early 20s. And honestly, it's an absolutely fantastic thing that we do each year. And this is a Link Up podcast. So we talk all things gaming here, as well as any other ramblings that Devastate and I have on a regular basis. And then we'll also get, as you saw last week when I wasn't here, we'll get other guests on who are from the Link Up crew, as it would be, and we'll talk about anything from the Link Up to takeaways to what's going on in the world, and we just give our take on it.
Mhm.
But yeah, first of all, now I'm back. We're back to normality. I need to sort of get something off my chest, as it would be, from a gaming point of view. So I did. Got back from holiday last Wednesday, and I did one game of League of Legends on I think Friday afternoon, Friday evening. And for those of you who aren't au fait with it, but if you know what inting is, it's basically where someone throws a game, so they'll purposefully kill themselves or make themselves aware to the other team, so the other team can kill them really easily. And I've been playing League of Legends for 12 years, 12, 13 years, and honestly, this was the worst case of inting on my team as well that I've ever seen in my entire League of Legends career, if we can call it a career. So basically, it started off in the pre-game lobby where you get to choose your characters. So you get assigned a lane, so you get top, middle, bottom, support, or jungle. The guy who got or guy or girl who got given jungle wanted to go mid. There's nothing wrong with that, nothing you can do about it. You just get assigned a different role sometimes. But they were just like, right, you know what, I'm just going to go mid anyway. So he went mid with the other mid. They just ran up the middle, started playing. And I was like, okay, we could probably win. But then he just decided, you know what, I'm just going to in. So he ran it up mid lane, killed himself, got let the other team member playing mid, get a kill. Okay, we've got an inter. Hopefully he'll just leave and then the game can end after 15 minutes. But basically, what he then did is he then started going up everyone's lane and giving that lane opposition more kills. So just to give you a summary, I've got the game up here. So the game itself, I went 13 kills, 4 deaths, and 2 assists. He went 1 kill, 34 deaths, and 6 assists. And lo and behold, somehow we won the game. I genuinely couldn't believe that we won this game. So every lane of the opposition was ahead of our team. So my top laner was 3 or 4 kills up on me. Same with the mid and the bot and the ADC, and they just continue to basically snowball each lane for the opposition. But it got to the point where the opposition, I think, just got really cocky and like, oh yeah, look, we're miles ahead, and although he was still inting, he was participating in team fights, and we somehow then got a couple of like big team fights where we actually won the team fight, and then we got back. So if you imagine, like, we started sort of even on gold, and then we were going obviously like massively down. Then it sort of started doing this, and then there'd be like little spikes to the point where we became level, and then it got to I think like 40 minutes into the game. And
That's quite long for a league game.
Yeah, it's quite long for a game of League. Like usual games of League are about 20, 25 minutes, something like that. But this was well into 40 minutes. And we had a big team fight near our base. For some reason, they were just pushing, even though they didn't need to be at that point. We won the team fight and then just ran it down mid and won. And I was like, first of all, like, what goes through someone's head to intel throw a game? Like, I'm guessing it's going to be a younger person. It's not going to be someone of our age, because I think, like, well, unless it's Rage from the link up. I don't even think Rage would int. I think Rage would probably just quit. I don't think he would int. Like, would you ever throw like a FIFA game if you were playing a FIFA game?
No, I mean the thing is, I mean it's generally in FIFA when you're playing like Ultimate Team competitive rivals or champs. The sort of accepted things is if you go 3-0 down fairly early on, you just sort of quit.
Yeah.
However, there is another thing that does rage people in FIFA, but it's to do with quitting. So in competitive games, if you start playing and you quit, the game is a draw. If you start playing, you beat them and they quit, you get the win. Now, when you there's a game mode called Champions, which is where you play. Starts on a Friday, ends on a Sunday night or first thing Monday morning. And you have 20 games that you've got to play over that period.
How long is the game?
10, 15 minutes.
Oh, okay, it's not too long. So
yeah, so I try and do hour and a half, 2 hours on a Friday night, like Saturday morning for an hour. That's what I try and get, like all my games done in that period, hour and a half on Saturday morning. But you have 20 games. Now, and you have certain markers of quality. So if you get, you have ranks 10 through to 1. And if you get like 4 wins, you'll get rank 9. If you get 7 wins, you'll get rank 7. And then there's just like all the way up to. But what you used to do in the community was, if you didn't have enough games left to get up to the next rank, let's say you had 4 games left to play, but you needed 5 wins to get to the next rank up, you'd be like, oh, what? I'll just give my wins away. So what you used to do, what you do, the normal honest people will load into the game. Hopefully they get kick off. I just kick the ball back to my goalkeeper. I put it in the goal, end the game, give them a free win. You get given some, you don't get given some. But what last year's game, I noticed a load more of people will come into the game and they would just instantly quit. It will give them a loss. It will say that I haven't played one of my games, but they're just doing it for the sake of not
Getting
being
through the
nice to
numbers.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're
Yeah.
not getting anything from it, and they're actively going, well, I'm not going to give this random person
Yeah.
a win. So it's
Was there a scenario in that where if like you were doing it with your friend, if you knew a friend who was playing it, you could can you load in with a friend, or does it have to be just match made,
it's match made dependent on how
like level and
well
stuff?
you've so in rivals, which is like the game mode that you play during the week. That's a divisional system, so you have divisions 10 through to elite, and then you have to win so many games to go up to basically get promoted through the divisions. Then when you then organically get to a division that's about your level, you can't win enough to get promoted. So if
Yeah.
you have to win so many in a row to
Yeah.
get promoted. Now, if you'll generally find your rank. So let's say you might be a rank 3 player. In rivals, you will only play players from 4, 3, and 2. So the division above or the division below, and
Yeah.
your division, you'll only play players. Whereas on Foot Champions, the weekend game mode, it works on a slightly different basis. So you play a game and you win. You will play people on what's called your positive or negative performance metric. So
Right.
if
Okay. Yeah.
you've won five, you win 5 games in a row. You'll also play someone who has won 5 games in a row.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But hence, when you get to you could be like a 9 or a 10, you generally come up against the best players
Yeah.
in the game,
Yeah.
and because everyone has to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it forces everyone down an
Yeah.
angle. The best time is generally Saturday morning in the
Yeah. Yeah.
UK.
Yeah. Because no
Um,
one's going to be up, are they?
well,
We will. We'd
yeah.
be up, but the majority of the people are going to be, should we say, probably teenagers, aren't they, who are going to be sleeping in till midday.
And then but then you do then have the late night, depending on how early. So you couldn't play at 5 a.m. because you'd have the late night players from the US that are
Yeah, yeah,
sometime on.
true. Yeah,
Although I'm not 100% certain quite how the server, how busy the server is. You want to play at the busiest times possible to get the best chance of um like getting easier wins.
yeah,
But
yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. 'Cause I mean,
or you go on Sunday, close of play Sunday, where people have to get their wins done. So
yeah,
you've got more of a chance of getting the free wins on a
yeah, yeah.
Sunday
That makes sense.
afternoon.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I suppose it's kind of like that with League of Legends to a certain degree. On League of Legends, you go on a server, so I'm on EU West. So in theory, I'll play with anyone from UK, and then I would guess France, Spain, Portugal, etc. Um, but I generally find if you play in the evenings, you get idiots. If you play first thing in the morning, so if I'm up really early, like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, I'll log on and it will be relatively acceptable games. But coming back to the point on the inting, it's like I just don't know what goes through some. I get like if you quit, like you might have a raging moment
Yeah.
as rage does, and we know that all too well, and you might quit out. But to then sit in a game, all right, the likelihood of us winning was very minimal. I mean, luckily I was playing quite well, and one of the other players on our team was playing quite well. So we had a very small chance. But to sit there for 35 minutes, where the likelihood is we're going to lose, and just continue to kill yourself, I don't get like what's in it for them apart from just running it down and giving the opposition team kills. I don't get because they're going to get banned. They'll be
Mm.
banned for a period of I don't know what that period of time is. Obviously, the Riot will look at the game's history, and obviously everyone in the game would have reported this person. So Riot will look at it, and Riot are the people who make League of Legends. They'll look at it, and I don't know whether they're looking at it on a severity scale and go, okay, this guy or girl inted and killed themselves 34 times, almost one a minute for the entire duration of the game. We're going to ban them for I mean, in my eyes, they should be banned for just ban them for a month. I
Yeah.
mean, they won't do it again. But I mean, personally, I've never left a game on purpose. I've left the game back when my internet connections dropped, or when my kids were younger and they were screaming, and I was the only parent in the house, and I had to go and deal with them. And then obviously got kicked from the game. There's nothing I can physically do about that. But like, even when I was younger, I don't ever remember like purposefully inting or throwing a game like that bad as well. It was horrific.
I suppose there's an element of that player wanted to play a particular position that who couldn't play a position. So it was like, well, I'm not. It's a very sulky mechanism. I'm not going to get my way, so I'm going to make sure
Yeah,
you guys die.
yeah,
And then he tries doing it, and then ultimately there's a point about human psychology where it's like, once I'm in it, I'm committed to that cause.
yeah. I'm all in.
Yeah, like I can't leave until the job is done.
Yeah, yeah.
Ultimately, it didn't work out for him. I think it's bad, but look, I mean, you see the people who go and play all of these games that are cheating that have got view bots, sorry, that have got
Hey, boss.
aim bots, and that you can see everyone around the map and stuff like that. So, well, you're always going to encounter that. Cheating's
Oh,
been around in game. Cheating's been around in games for forever, and
I
bad
was about to say,
behaviour. It's been around
did
forever.
when you play, did you ever play what was the game where you could do the cheats? So was it GTA or was it Tony Hawk's Underground where you could do the cheats on PlayStation 1, I think it was.
Well, back in
I
the
want to
day,
say,
every game had a cheat. You
yeah,
used to you
yeah, every game had a cheat. I can't remember if it was Tony Hawk's Underground or GTA, but on the PS1, this would have been. You could do like up, down, down, left, left, right, right, square, circle, cross, triangle, and then it would then enact a level of not cheating, but abilities that you could do. So I remember on Tony Hawk's Underground, you could do like infinite manuals where basically you got the skateboard like that and you're permanently manually and you don't have to worry about it. And then you could just go from one trick to another trick and still manually and just get unbelievable scores. But I don't think it was that bad then because you're playing locally.
yeah, it's just yourself. But that
Yeah,
was
or the people you're playing split screen with, isn't it?
yeah.
Whereas now, I mean, you see cheating left, right, and center. You can go and buy aimbots on eBay, can't you? And it's just like I kind of get why it'd be quite cool just to experience it. Like I mean, I remember experiencing it on Halo 2 when it first came out, and you could tell that like you'd get into a lobby and you then get into the game and you'd be like, oh, I'm dead
Mm.
instantly. You're like, okay, cheater, and then but it's so blatant, like so blatant. Whereas it kind of feels like nowadays, from a cheating perspective, it's not as obvious from an aimbot perspective. You kind of have to go, oh, I think that's cheating, isn't it? Whereas like honestly, back in the day on Xbox Live with Halo 2, it was so obvious because they were just speed running around the map, and then you go, beep, beep, like just dead instantly.
What really baffles me is why?
Yeah,
Why
why?
do it? What are you getting now? I can understand if it was some sort of financial or competitive advantage
Yeah.
that I can sort of understand it. That if you were in a game where you could earn things that you could then sell in real life for real money, I can sort of understand it that you could go and cheat the system and then sell those items, make money in real life. Completely get that. But what in the hell is the point in cheating in Fall Guys? What is the hell
Yeah.
in point in cheating in
Well,
any
any
game?
game.
But any game but most games you can't do that in. So what you then end up doing is they're never going to be able to use it in a competitive game. Because they would all be inspected,
Yeah.
and they won't be able to get away with doing it. So they would never get the prize money. So I really struggle to most things I can understand. I just don't understand
I think
cheating
it's
in a multiplayer game. If it's a single player game and you can't get past the level, or you can't do something, or you can't beat a boss, and you need a cheat, I can understand that. But in a multiplayer game, I mean, I suppose it's if that player was just so bad, that player was just so bad that they have to cheat.
But with any game, surely you've got to realise if you're cheating in any fashion, whether it be an aimbot or in an aimbot in Fortnite or Call of Duty, or if it's scripting in League of Legends, so you're dodging skill shots from characters, you're going to get found out by the people who made the game from their Punk Busters, etc., Riot Vanguard, etc., at some point, and your account's going to get banned. And like, I kind of get that. It'd be quite cool to see how that works. But if you've got, like, for me, 12 years of history on a League of Legends account, is it really worth losing all of that history on the account just to see what it's like to be able to script and dodge 17 skill shots in a row? Not really. But I get your point around the financial piece, because I can see that, like, let's say we created the Royal Link Up aimbot for a game, and then we showcased it on the channel and live, etc. And then we started saying, right, if you want to buy the aimbot, go to our website, and then we just push that. I kind of get that, but you're almost putting a caveat on it at that point, aren't you? You're going, I don't hold any responsibility for the content in this aimbot hack, zip, or whatever it is. It's all your own discretion. I'm doing this on accounts, blah, 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 that have been banned. You have been warned, etc. But yeah, I don't get it. That honestly, that's the worst case of inting I've ever seen. And it was comical at one point, because it was literally just like, I'm coming top, I'm going to run it down, and just run it down. Do it twice in a row, then go bot, then go mid. And it's like, okay, right, I'm just going to see what I can do. And then, yeah, someone came back and
Was
won,
he in a call with you as well?
No. Oh, if he was, I would have been absolutely. I mean, yeah, I would have given him a piece of my mind. But like, I went and looked at his so his name on, or his or her name on League is Bann, Bann. And then if I look at their,
we'll bleep that out.
yeah, we'll bleep that out. He or she doesn't actually int. They just don't seem very good at the game.
Yeah. And how old's the account?
The account is this year.
Yeah,
this year.
So they could be 7 years old. They could be 8 years old. Like,
so they've been playing it this year, but somehow they got to 2 levels above me. And I'm looking at their last 20 games, and it's basically probably 60-40 in favour of losing. And they don't lose by massive amounts. They're going like 3-7, 3-8, 5-9. It's not like horrific. But then, yeah, last 3 games, 8-14, 1-4, 1-34. But yeah, just I don't get it. Don't get that at all. Anyway, enough of the inting and other things. I've got a Nintendo Switch. Well, I haven't. My kids have. I got it for their birthdays. I'm going to be setting that up. I can't remember the last time I set up a console. It's got to be. When did the Xbox One S come out? Because that's the last console I set up. 5 to 10.
The One S.
Yeah, Xbox.
What are we on now? We're on One X and X now. So,
yeah, but was it One S?
No, must have
One S. No, I think it was just the Xbox One.
One. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was about 10 years ago.
10. Yeah, okay. That was the last time I set up a console. So that's either straight after recording the podcast or a first thing tomorrow morning job. But we've got.
I don't think it would take that long. Don't think it would take long at all.
No, I've got a brand new TV, so it should be fine. But we've got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Minecraft from a gaming perspective. And then I bought 2 extra controllers so me and my wife can play with the kids as well. But yeah, Nintendo Switches cost a lot of money for what I thought it would be a lot cheaper. We got the Nintendo Switch, 2 games and 2 extra controllers, and it was £410. And for me, that feels like a lot of money for a game system or games console, should I say, that I'm not going to say is premium. It's like it's a fun console as opposed to a premium console.
I mean, you could say that, look, if the units 200 quid, 50 quid a game, and 50 quid for extra controllers, like 350. So it's not. It's probably 250 the console. I mean, they are great. They're great units. It's like one of the biggest selling consoles.
Yeah, yeah. And
Um,
in my day job, or should we say non-day job, I run an Amazon business, and I have software which can see the price of something over time. And I've looked at the price of the Switch since it launched on Amazon, and it has not deviated. They don't put it on sale ever, and I mean ever. It's never been on sale. It stays at the same price pretty much. I bought it directly from Nintendo rather than from Amazon in the hope that I get a better price, but it wasn't. It's exactly the same price, which kind of makes sense. But yeah, a lot of money. So yeah, once we play a few games of that, I'll give you the lowdown on that next week from a gaming perspective.
I've got something I'm going to talk to you about, Beef, because
Go on, then.
you might not have seen this. So, on Friday, Sins of a Solar Empire 2 got full release.
Oh, I did see this on the WhatsApp. So we have a Raw Link Up WhatsApp group, and Devastate mentioned it, and I was like, oh. And I saw you said I'm playing because it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You were saying you're going to play it, and I was like, I was working at the time, and I was like, no, I can't, because I'll be there for like 4 hours, and I'll miss bedtime, and the wife will kill me. Um, but yeah, I want to play because but it's not fully out, is it? But is the fourth faction as well?
No. So,
No,
it is full game,
three
uh,
factions.
3 factions,
Three factions.
maps,
So that's three like
every
races. I was
yeah.
going to say, for people who don't know what Sins of a Solar Empire is. So Sins of a Solar Empire is a real-time strategy space game where you basically have to take over planets, deploy ships, fight in big like Star Wars-esque battle type things, and you have like economies to run, etc., etc. And there's three factions or three races as they would be. Oh, they're now all three that are out. But yeah, sorry, didn't want to. Just thought it'd be
Yeah.
worth mentioning what it is.
So, a couple of really important things to mention. It's very, very different to the beta
What that we played?
that we played. Um,
What's the
the
biggest
linker.
difference?
So, the so you have
Research
three.
tree.
Yeah, let me come back. So you have 3 races, and you know that you have 2 associated with each one.
Yeah.
They are now a lot more separate than like the good, like a rebel or like a freedom fighter, or a rebel or a bad guy, a rebel or a pirate. They are almost their own race type and
Oh
have
wow. So you've essentially got
major,
six.
yeah, some major benefits
Wow.
between them. The there's a lot more that is going back to the old system actually. So you know, in the new system, you only had to plant one orbital research unit,
Yeah.
and then you upgraded the amounts on the planets.
Yes.
That has gone.
What? What's it
Yep.
replaced with?
So it's gone back to the
The
old
original.
system, the
Oh, so you
original
got to put
system.
most all on the. Oh, right. Okay. Right. That's fine. I mean, that's why. Why though? Like, obviously, we don't know the answer, but like, that seemed like a quite a good move forward in terms of the game's design, in terms of moving the game forward to
So
since two. And then
I'll
why would you
give
revert back out of the beta? That doesn't make
so
sense.
I'll give my thought. I think it because it's too easy. So let me give
Yeah.
you
Yeah. So yeah,
as
I
soon
get. I get
as
that. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
as soon as you had 4 planets, it's like you could have essentially get up to military 4 and
Yeah.
thingy 4. I played it on Friday, and I didn't get up to military 4 until an hour and a half in the game.
Oh, wow,
I
wow.
mean,
Because yeah, 'cause obviously, like on the beta, you basically just get your 4 planets, upgrade each planet's max capacity on military and civilian, and then on your research tree, which is where you get all the different bits,
yeah.
you just move along it. Whereas going back to the original system is you've got to have enough planets with enough slots for both civilian and military to build civilian or military, what are they called?
Mhm.
things.
Orbital
Uh,
research stations.
yeah, research station. So it's a military or a civilian research station, and then the planet has only got a certain finite number of slots to build civilian or military infrastructure. And then if you run out, you can't do anything. You have to go
Yeah.
and get another planet to then upgrade it. So,
What's
oh,
really interesting is I was really playing around with the planet upgrades.
yeah,
So that there is a planet upgrade that allows you to get two more. So
two
it'll
more
give you
planets,
it'll give you two more civilian slots or two more um um
military slots.
military slots or two more or one like a boost in influence, or you'll get two more like space for
Defense.
yes, like
Yeah.
there's some actual so the planet upgrades
Oh.
are so important. um I mean, I'm not lying. It took me 3 hours before I even started on the Titan, and I was playing on one, and it was 3 hours before.
So a Titan is like the biggest ship in the game, and
Mhm.
generally that's the last ship that you build. You build one of them. You can only build one of them. It's enormous. It's got huge shield, hu- excuse me, shield hull, armor, firepower, etc., etc. And it's the last thing you build essentially. Um, but 3 hours on a one-on-one. Like on a one-on-one, you like in reality, unless you want to like just get through the whole game and like figure out all the different aspects of the game, you should be able to complete a one-on-one in half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe.
Well,
Depends how many planets there were.
yeah. Well, the other thing that the menus are completely in the pre-game menus are all changed.
Oh,
Uh,
what?
it's really quite nice what they've done on the planets. They've done some really nice maps.
Oh,
Um,
okay, nice. Oh, what, as in presets?
yeah,
Oh, what, so they can actually
and
design them
it's
themselves?
like it's quite funny. So you go like you can see like let's say it's got 45 planets, and it'll be like resources, and it'll be rich full of resources.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
on
yeah.
on a map like that, there'll be more like you go to a planet and there'll be just tons and tons and tons of ships
Oh,
on it.
wow,
But I was
nice.
playing as the rogue, and that had some really incredible benefits. So I was able to, at any one time, I could always see where the pirates were. I saw where I was able to
Oh.
see where all the pirates were moving to. I saw where their bases from the start, not even like literally from the
And what
start
about
of the
like
game.
the rogue factions? Could you see those as well? Like the little
Um,
mini factions.
yeah. So once I saw that, no, I couldn't see them coming on.
Okay, but you can see the pirates at any given time. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, that could be very useful,
there's
particularly if
going
like
to
if you're
be.
playing.
And they've got some and then they've got four different points that I can spend my influence points, so vital.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was playing around last time we played it. I was
Mm,
playing around with influence points to see what benefits it would give me from the neutral factions. So neutral
mm,
factions are like outlier colonies within each within like groups of
mm,
planets, which you don't necessarily kill, but you can have influence points over, or should we say influence with, to then give you benefits, and that might be media spread, or it could be or culture, or credits, for example. Could be anything. And I was playing around with that, and the last time we played it after the link up, and I was like, this could be very useful, like very
mm.
useful.
I'm not. I'm honestly. I think it's gonna. I think I'm gonna play it again probably this week, and then so I want to do some more exploration because they've completely changed. So so when we were playing the beta, we just knew what the tech tree was.
Yes.
Roughly. That's completely changed from the beta. So
Oh,
it's all over the
brilliant,
place again.
brilliant.
Um, I was like,
But the tech tree,
they,
the tech tree from Sins of Solar Empire Rebellion to 2 is so different, isn't it? and then to like yours obviously saying it's changed again. Is it that vast to change again, do you think?
No, no.
No,
It's
okay, cool.
still the same idea. So you have your block one, block two, block three, block four,
Yeah.
block five, and there's other things underneath it. Um, there are just some things that are not in the order, or some stuff that
Uh,
I was looking for. They've got a really nice feature though, really cool feature that on the icons it's got a little key in the bottom of some of them, and that's when it unlocks like a starship, or so you can easily identify
yes. Yeah.
ones that
What you
unlock.
need.
Yeah, that it can
Yeah.
where it will like this will unlock this ship rather than to having to hover over each one trying to look for the one thing to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's quite useful.
It's
That's
quite a
quite
nice
useful.
quality of life improvement there. Um, yeah, so obviously so I was playing as that, but the third full race, so we had Tech and we had Vasari. We
Sorry.
now got Advent, um, and yeah, it's I think it was Advent that I was playing against. That was I was playing normal to again getting back used to it, and I was like, "Cool, my brain needs to switch into these fast starts
Yeah.
again."
Yeah, because that's one of the keys with Sins of the Solar Empire is you need that fast start. So you need to have the. I mean, the start is generally going to be the same for
Oh,
most
sorry,
people.
just to
It's
interrupt. Two new planet types.
what are they?
It's like terranium.
Terrain. Okay.
Um, you've now got gas planets are now habitable.
Ah, okay, that's pretty cool.
Um, and then there was is there another planet? I'm pretty certain there's another planet as well. Um, and then um, you so each planet now has better associated bonuses.
So basically, it depends what planets are around you will depend on the benefits that you could extract or get from them, will then determine how potentially the rest of your game could go, depending on what you get.
So
Mm,
what you have to almost do is like that initial scouting area is so important because
yeah,
you've then in your head got to plan out that's going to be a great planet for this.
X,
That's a
Y,
great
Z.
planet
Yeah,
for mining. That's a great planet to do that. Like you've almost got
yeah,
to take your base area and and in your head sort of plot out the best because you don't want to be like you obviously want to be trying to put like trade ports on your home, but where there are some planets that in the upgrade tree give incredible bonuses
yeah,
when you get like a level 3 and then you can put that planet upgrade and you get like a times 2 trade
yeah,
port
yeah.
bonus on it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's and go back to the original point around the start. The start is generally the same. Well, it is the same for everyone. You will get given a capital ship on your home planet, and then you'll get, I think it's five of the basically the most basic ships or little fighters that you can get, and
Oh,
then you decide what.
you only get that with Vasari, you don't get that with Tech.
Oh, okay, right. So I only play Vasari. I'm a
Hmm.
one-trick pony. But then you have to decide what you want to do. So for me, it's I send my capital ship, which is a planet inhabitant ship, off to the nearest big planet, and the other five go to some other planet and try and destroy whatever's there. And then I build a like a builder ship that sorry a colonizing ship which can then go to those small ship planets straight after. But then, as Devastate's been saying, that's kind of for me been completely flipped on its head because then you've got to focus on right, get your scouts out, figure out where your right planets are going to be, where's the biggest battle's going to be just to get a planet in the first instance, and then what benefits of that planet going to give you. I don't want to say it completely changes the game, but it's a massive element of the early game that I think you have to really pay attention to. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind whoever you're playing with or against very, very quickly.
Yeah, and the other thing I would just note, I was playing and my game didn't morph.
Oh, what?
And
As in the planets move?
yeah, so I was like, what's happening? So I clicked on it and everything, it rotated round, but everything just stayed connected. And so I don't know whether it was a setting within the game that I needed to have checked or unchecked
Yeah, yeah,
um,
maybe.
pre game. But yeah, there was no. Like there was no morphing at all in there.
Ah, interesting. Well, I'm very much looking forward to playing some more Sins.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll have to do that. See if we can do that on a dual stream. So you can stream on YouTube. I'll stream on TikTok live, and I think that will be a really good one.
Twitch, not YouTube. Twitch.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. We're yeah, because
Highlights on YouTube.
yes, exactly. Highlights on YouTube, indeed. Cool. Well, that was interesting. Little bit of very brief, interesting gaming news. PlayStation have filed a patent for a touch screen controller, which I think could be quite interesting. I mean, for me, I want physical buttons which I can touch rather than a touch screen, but I can kind of see the appeal of having almost like a you remember the Game Gears when they came out. Was it the Game Gear? And they had the screen in the middle.
Yeah, that was Game
If you
Gear.
have,
Yeah.
if you have your controls on the outside and then you can touch a screen. I don't know what you would do with said screen, but I'm sure PlayStation will figure that one out. But it's an interesting one because I would think the next gen consoles will be coming out in the next sort of 2 to 3 years, something like that.
Well, the PlayStation VR seems to be doing pretty well. So I always wonder when they're doing these sorts of patterns whether it's not as a controller. I mean, Christ, we might even see a Sony mobile phone, the PlayStation phone.
I mean, it would make a lot of sales, that's for sure, wouldn't it?
Don't know how good it'll be, but
no, we'll have to see. Anyway, yeah, that was a bit of interesting gaming news. Football's back.
yes.
Football's back. The Premier League. Obviously, if you're in the UK, the Premier League for us, we're both Premier League fans. Has kicked back off. I'm a Man United fan and Devastate as an Arsenal fan. So a healthy rivalry, shall we say? I actually watched the United game on Friday because so as a man with 2 children, I don't get any time to watch TV. There's literally no time, so I don't have Sky Sports. But I bought a month's Now TV pass to watch the British Open golf in the middle of July, and so that carried on until I think carries on until tomorrow actually. So if there's any football on tonight, I could watch it, but there isn't. But yeah, I actually watched it on Friday. I was pleasantly surprised with how United played, to be honest. I thought they did all right. I think Fernandes could have got a double hat trick than that he missed.
A double hat trick. I don't think so. He could have. No, he couldn't have.
I think he could have had it. Honestly,
no,
not clear-cut chances, but half chances. Well, he could have easily had
2 goals. He should have scored twice. He was trying to be clever with a. He tried to score from the outside of his foot, and then the ding
that it didn't happen. Yeah. But I was pleasantly surprised. I think it's looking. I was pleasantly surprised, and I think from a what's the word? Players who we bought perspective, I think Mazraoui did really well at right back. De Ligt was only on for 10 seconds, so I can't really comment too much about him. But yeah, I was pretty happy with it, and I'm hearing rumours from here we go, Fabrizio Romano, that Ugarte is now looking like a loan with obligation to buy, which will be interesting as well. So yeah, pretty happy with that. What's the verdict on Arsenal?
Yeah, pretty happy. So we beat Wolves 2-0. Game was okay. Wolves are always one of those really scrappy teams. You never know really what they're always going to fight. And have good players as well. I do. I really like some of their players, but Raya made a couple of amazing saves in the game, and ultimately, Bukayo Saka and Kai Havertz, clinical Kai, does the business again. Yeah, I'm more than happy. It's on the transfer front again. Looks like we're signing Mikel Merino from Real Sociedad, Spanish midfielder, played for Spain in the Euros.
Where's he play?
Centre mid. Centre mid. Go play the 8.
What in who? What instead of Odegaard?
No, Odegaard plays 10.
Well, who started? You had Odegaard,
So Saka,
Rice
Saka
and
plays
Partey.
right. Saka plays right. Odegaard plays central. Left hand side is Martinelli or Trossard. Up front's Kai Havertz. So the two midfielders that sit behind them the weekend was Declan Rice and Thomas
Partey.
Partey.
Yeah.
So Marino will ultimately come in. So then that sort of four rotational players
All
will
right. Fair enough.
be Rice, Marino, Thomas Partey, and Jorginho.
Well, yeah.
So that
Rice is not going to not start. He's too
no,
good to not start, in my opinion. So
but we can't.
it's back
But
up. It's back up, isn't it?
well, it's rotation. It's not, I don't think it's right to say backup because look, we're going to be we'll play. We've got more Champions League games than ever this year for the first time because we're into the new Champions League
Yeah.
style. And if we go far in cup competitions and stuff, like these players could play 55, 60 games.
Yeah, quite
Plus,
possibly.
plus World Cup qualifiers,
Yeah.
plus stupid Nation League games that
Nations
happen
League.
in a
Yeah.
month's time.
Yeah.
You need a 25-man proper squad. A couple of youth players in there. We've got a couple of nice youth players. Lewis Skelly at left back, I really like him. Ethan Nyanweri is the other sort of number 10. Looked really good on the pre-season tour.
And you got some good money for Emil Smith Rowe. I didn't realise he'd gone to Fulham for like
30 million.
30 million. I mean, I say it's a little bit over, but I think that's really good money for him, to be honest.
He has played 4 games for us in 2 years.
Yeah. But I thought when he broke into the squad like a couple of years ago, I thought he looked really good because he got into the England squad as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
I thought he looked quite good. But then to your point, yeah, he's been injured. But I thought because obviously he played for Fulham against United with the game that I watched, and I thought, all right, he only played like 70 odd minutes, I think. I thought he played quite well. When he got the ball, he was always forward looking. Mainly was always on his case constantly, which is probably a good sign from a Fulham perspective if you got someone like Kobbie Mainoo chasing him down. So yeah, that's some good money for him. But more importantly, fantasy football is back.
Yes.
And I'm generally terrible at fantasy football. Like as a general rule of thumb, because I don't have as much time and I always forget about it. It'll get to like Saturday morning and then I'll be doing like I don't know, swimming lessons with the kids or something, and then I'll be like, I've forgotten to do my team, and I've 3 weeks in a row, and then I'm nowhere. But I beat Devastate quite comfortably this week. Quite comfortably, 22 points. Who did you not have in your team then? Did you not have Saka or not Saka? Oh no, you had Haaland. Who's your captain?
Isak.
Oh, you captain Isak. Yeah.
No, look. So ultimately, it was a poor week for me on FPL. I was really gutted. There was a lot of players that ended up doing quite well that at some stage I had in a draft. So just to make sure the chat is aware, I've won our mini league 4 out of the last 6 years.
6? Yeah, 4 of the last 6. Yeah. So Devastate is very, very good at Fantasy Premier League. I am absolutely shocking, but somehow my back 4, so my back 3 and the goalie, got a 9, 9, a 7, and a 6, which is just like an insane amount of points for the back 4. When I've planned to get most of my points from the front 7, but I put 3 United players in who went 4, 3, 6. So
I couldn't believe that at the end of the first night and saw that you have 3 United players.
Like everything that I read, I was like, right, Bruno's going to be playing up top.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay. Rashi's apparently been playing pretty well, and I'm like, right, Garnacho, he's scored pre-season. He's generally pretty handy, going to get something. And they were all there or thereabouts, but none of them finished. Like none of them finished. Whereas like Rashi could have scored, I mean, easily 1 or 2. Garnacho probably the same. Bruno even more. And if they had, I would have been sitting on probably 60, 70 points between them. But yeah, hey ho, we'll see. Who have Man United got next? We've got away to Brighton, who spanked Everton 3-0, so that's not good.
They look good.
They did look really good. And then you're away at Villa at the evening kickoff on
Saturday
Saturday.
5:30. Yes, Villa beat Arsenal twice last season.
Yeah, Villa were very
Home and
good.
away. Ultimately cost Arsenal the Premier League title last year. So I want some revenge. I'm fed up. None of this Emery versus Arteta talk. I want like we've got to. If we want to win the Premier League, we've got to go there and win. Have to win.
100%. Yeah, because Villa are going to be a top 6 team in this season, I would think, based on what they did last year. I can't see why they wouldn't. I mean, Watkins did
Champions
he,
League. Newcastle couldn't deal with it. Newcastle qualified for the
true.
Champions League, fell out. I think you could have the same thing for Villa.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
But we'll see. But do they have the squad to play Tuesday, Wednesday against a Bayern Munich or Barcelona or Real Madrid? Then come and play Saturday, then play Tuesday, then play Sunday. That's where the test will really come from for Villa.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think we should make that a weekly thing. What's the fantasy football looking like between you and I? Because I'm trying to think. Is there anyone else from the Raw Link Up in there in our league?
Mass and Every is.
Yeah, Mass and Every.
Acidic Viruses and
Acidic
Aces.
is. Yeah, so we've got 4 or 5 of us in there. So yeah, we should definitely have that as a weekly update.
Yeah,
because
I'll stick a little graphic here with how everyone did week 1.
Yeah, I mean, I can pretty much guarantee I will not be anywhere near the top come the end of the season. Not a chance. If I am, miracles.
I'm going to set you a target, not in our league, but in the world. So there's 9 million players.
I mean, 2,000 points has got to be the benchmark, surely.
You can do better than 2,000 points.
Really? Yeah. Is there anywhere on fantasy you can see what you've got?
I'll show you after the podcast.
Yeah. Do that.
But no, I'll stick a little update. We'll do a little segment every week. Look, there are some people that will have tuned out as soon as we started talking about football. Some people will love us talking about football. What I might do is just put a little. You want to hear about the football? Come and listen to this bit. So, if you like us talking about football, I know that there will be some of the Royal Link Cup gamers that will want to talk about football, but because of who they support, we might not invite them back on during the course of the season.
Absolutely. But yeah, if you do want to listen to more of the football stuff, let us know in the comments. Also, let us know you support as well. That would be really interesting to see. And even if you don't support someone that we know, if it's somewhere local in your country or whatever, let us know. We'd love to hear that as well, for sure. But yes. I think that's pretty much it for this episode of the podcast, isn't it, Devastate?
Yeah, good chat. Good to have you back.
Indeed. Back to normality now. We'll be back every week now. I don't have any holidays planned abroad. But I'll be back every week. And we'll have to get some more guests on because I was watching the episode with Mass and Acidic from last week, and it looked very good. Very good. But yeah.
Couple things I just want to shout out. So for those of you ready, if you really could please give us a little subscribe. Can I also ask of those of you watching on YouTube what you think of this new layout display compared to the ones we usually have? Do you prefer it? Do you prefer the old one? Do you like it? Let me know. Just trying to keep stuff a little bit fresh for everyone. And so yes, if you could just drop us a bit of feedback. All the comments really help us to carry on doing this. So yes, thank you very much for listening and watching. My name has been Devastate.
And I am the amazing Sniper Beef. Until next time.
Catch you soon, peeps.
Laters.